boat is actually set up by a couple of partners from DRB Concept. Give me a minute, hang with me, there's reasons why I think it's time we got started, yeah? Usually I'm going to start from the inside and it will become evident why. We'll do the cockpit and all that in a minute. I want to do the interior first. It's the thing that this company does. So you find a naval architect, or if you have an aluminium hull already, or you know somebody that can make you an aluminium hull, you can order or design the hull, have this company do it for you in a sort of nav area pilot station just as you come through, and they basically work with you with the build and design the entire interior and everything that goes with the boat. This one's been designed specifically for a customer. It's an immense boat. You can say up here it's a semi custom pilot house come nav area. So you have 2 seats either side and then all your gadgets as soon as you come through the companionway. So you have all your gadgets like your Raymarine, VHF, autopilot, hybrid touchscreen. Have your energy management systems up here. There is space cupboards behind the cushions, but say like a Boreal or something like that, you also have perfect vision navigating forward. And something that's quite nice, just above my head, you'll see that the companionway slider's just up above. So it's straight in, you can come in with a wet gear but without affecting the rest of the boat. This boat is 14.6 metres long and 4.4 metres on the beam. She's equipped with an 80 horsepower engine, we'll have a look at that in a little while. So you've got one step in, that's it. This is all, these guys started their company about 7 years ago, 8 years ago. They do all the design work and then all of the carpentry in-house. So you have a U-shaped seating area within the saloon or salon, if that's what you want to call it. This is a 3-cabin version. You can have a 2-cabin version. This particular boat, or 4-cabin drop-down table, which is always handy. Make that seating area bigger and access to water tanks just under here. So typically with any blue water cruiser, this is set up with all essential weight and equipment central in the boat. The wood has been done in the French white oak veneer, and then everything that's finished off like the fiddles and that's all solid wood. I'm going to start on the starboard side of the companionway. These guys are sailors. Thibaud, the guy that started the company, he used to race a Beneteau, I've forgotten what it's called now, Fargo. He's pretty clued up, and there's something I spoke to about when we were talking about it. So you have areas like this, so movable cushions, but there are also areas that if you need to stand, you're sorting out your wet gear as you're getting into your cabin. So you have a double bed here on the starboard side cabin. You've got somewhere to lean up against and not get bruised. You have an opening hatch into the cockpit. A port light window over there. This is a repurposed hull. So they've done, I think they've built the best possible as they could. So you have access to your engine here. It's shaft drive, not sail drive. There's access to services and bilges underneath. as I say, I've talked with them. This is actually my first time coming around the boat. I've seen stuff they've done before in their workshop, but for this particular boat, and a nice hanging locker just in here. So you are discovering it at exactly the same time as I am. So that's cabin number 1, starboard side, and just by cabin number 1 you have a separate shower. So, opening hatch. It's been done really nicely. This boat is very, very light. They've repurposed this hull brilliantly, and where you need it, so what would be considered your, you know, what would be your outside areas in your pilot house, the veneer is actually a hard plastic veneer, so it's easy to wipe down. Here's your Yanmar start-stop, rev counter and so on. You have access to your engine under here too, and you have access to it here. You can take this whole area apart if you want. On the port side you have your main battery switches here, and once again access to engine and a place for you to put your fire extinguisher if you need to. Now they've got a couple of kids, so they've made a bunk room, which I think is pretty cool. So the littlest will be in here, and then their bigger one in the starboard cabin. But it's really nice, and you can use this room too as a dedicated area for spares if you want to. And then just coming out from there by the saloon, you have your fresh water flush. So separate heads, separate shower, ventilation up there, really, really good. Give me another pan out of the saloon and then into the galley. So fridge, freezer, freezer, fridge, 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 whatever you want. Configure it how you want to. This is a twin rudder but lifting keel, and then underneath I'll open one of these service hatches underneath so you can see. Have diesel tank. Three burner gas gimbal stove, nice port light in front, and then you've got your main cabin windows all the way round, and an opening hatch just up above, and there's an opening hatch. I'm moving around a bit, there's people waiting to come on, and you have an opening hatch in the central in your saloon. We'll do the galley and then I'll show you something I really like too. So, 3 burner gimbal stove, dual sink stainless steel sinks, which you know I'm a huge fan of. Whoever thinks that a single sink, unless you have the system that Alubat offer, single sinks is useless on a blue water boat. With plenty of storage. I'm not going to open them all. There, I said I'm not going to open them all. You've got a load of drawers and cupboards here behind the seats. There are loads more underneath the kitchen. 3 drawers here. Very nice Corian worktop, and my favourite behind the sink, you have a slidey door storage for all your bottles and, you know, stuff that you use a lot in the galley while underway. Very, very clever. So before we go forward, there's something I want to show. Behind here you have your mast, but you have these little louvered vents, and these actually go through to the master cabin. So if you want them open for more airflow or more light coming through, you can, and I shouldn't do it from out here, but if you want to close them for privacy, you can too. So I just think it's neat little idea. Service panels behind here, and then centrally by your mast you've got, as you can see, you have all your switches, command systems, digital display for water, electric and so on. It's nicely set up. I won't open this, but your cables and so on are in there. And something I really, really like is this 4-drawer system, and one of the things they've done which I think is brilliant. So if you're provisioning, you can pop the drawers pop out, and you can pop everything in the baskets and then pop them away, lock it off, and you don't have to worry about everything spilling overboard. There's more storage behind here. 3 drawers, little writing area or somewhere for your makeup and so on. It's really nice. I suppose it's been well thought out. Now, before we do this forward section, there are options for that. We'll go through that in a minute. But the master's cabin is right here. So you have the mast. You're pretty much central to the boat. I know you're over on the port side. You're pretty much central to the boat, so there's less movement. You've got really, really nice double bed. You can pop a lee cloth in or on the edge if you need to. So it's pretty stable when underway. It would be a nice spot to be in, nice and warm. Opening hatch up above, and you have that, you know, it's really nice. It's been well thought out. I think it's a lovely design, actually. Right, so this area, they haven't done it for the show because they were pressed, but you can have a washer dryer in here, dishwasher, extra freezer, service area. If you have a bowsprit, then there's access to bowsprit and so on. And just forward, there's a watertight bulkhead, access to bilge and so on down below. Or if you wanted, you could have this set up as an extra heads or sail storage or whatever. Because you're working with them to design your interior, have another look at this. You can pretty much, within reason, install it however you want. I'm going to give you a look around the outside, and then if you have any questions or anything like that, please put them down in the comments below. We are going to go and see these guys design office and factory sometime, all the CNC machinery and so on, so just let me know, okay? Normally I would delete this and go straight to the bow of the boat, but what I actually want you guys to see is to see how easy it is to walk around this boat. So you can imagine yourself out at sea, underway somewhere, and just basically walking around and going up to the bow. You can see how easy it is to walk around and step over stuff. I'm going to get back to the video, get back to me on the boat, so I'll leave you at that. Cheers. Right, I'm going to start at the bow, so I will give you that bow to stern look. Let's say she's 44 foot, 45 foot, 4.4 meters on the beam, whatever that is in feet, so she's quite beamy. Originally the hull was designed for, well, they say racing, but it's an older design hull for racing, but very, very sturdy. This boat's been well set up. So at the bow we have a double barrel ankle roller, integral because it's aluminium and it's done while being fitted. You have a genoa on a furlet. I'm going to come back so you can see. Access for self-tacking jib or stay sail if you wish, and it's all removable, so you can see the mechanism there. I can't get you into the anchor lockers at the moment because they're padlocked down. Saw photographs of these earlier when we were chatting to them. They are immense, so you have space for spare main, spare jib, spare genoa, code 0, all your chain. Use your fender text fenders so that they can be collapsed. Really, really well done. So all your stanchions and rails forward and aft are aluminium. You'll be able to see as we go down, it's all aluminium. Non-slip, but if you wish you could have cork or flexi-teak and so on. Just in front of me you have your track for your self-tacker. I think it's actually quite a good compromise. So you have a large overlapping genoa, you can have a self-tacker, and then pop up a storm jib and have that running independently on tracks. She's a 2-spreader mast, straight spreaders, so you have inboard shrouds, you have extras for tension, but it's better for downwind sailing, you know. Safe, strong rig, and then you don't need running backstays. Might be something I would add anyway. Granny bars at the mast, and winches for tensioning your halyards if you need to. It's pretty nicely set up. There's an anti-jibe device that, you know, it's supposed to break the jibe or slow it so nobody gets their head knocked off or killed. Nicely set out. Backwards and forwards. As I said, you are discovering this boat at exactly the same time I am. One thing I like is this grab rail, which is missing on a lot of boats. Right at the front here of your cabin roof, your coach roof, it runs all the way aft and then links to, you know, for your pilot house coach roof up there. You know, what can I say? I think they've done a good job repurposing this boat. She looks solid. The non-slip on the deck feels really, really good. You see your Genoa tracks. They run a long way aft. You have a hoop that they've put on so you can have a fixed spray hood, which then goes all the way to your solar arch. You can have solar panels on the cabin top if you wish. And all your lines, I should have said, so all your lines then run aft. You've got a spin lock deck management system. Everything comes aft. You then have a cassette of clutches running to 2 winches. Harken 50 self-tailing manual winch. If you want to, you could have this electric. We're doing something with eWincher, not just for their handle, but, well, for a new electric winch that they do. It's a very nice bit of kit. Popping round to the starboard helm, you have a Harken 60 2-speed self-tailing electric winch. It's a good option to have. Carbon Nautica wheels, and just on the pedestal, which you know I'm a huge fan on. If you have space for it, do it. It keeps all your instruments nice and clean. Raymarine autopilot. You've got your Raymarine hybrid touch navigation screen up above. Your throttle controls are just down to my right here. Everything runs back into this area. So you imagine you're underway, you're not having to lean over the seats to get to your winches. They're right here by the wheels where you need them separated. I had the option to add a third aft for my Code Zero or Jenica, but that's just a personal preference. And then once again, this is mirrored on the port side. So you have your Harken 60 self-tailing 2-speed winch here, a 50 forward manual, and then once again integrated racks on your pedestal. It's just such a good idea. And I know you guys with Benettos or whatever, oh well, no, not really. They're a good idea, and once you start using them, you'll understand. So you can set this up as you can on your starboard one, once again, say with your Raymarine autopilot, repeaters, a hybrid touch screen, you know, whatever you want really. And if you can, I don't know if you've seen it, with the Viking, no BS, just sailing. He's got a new Raymarine camera up on the mast. Amazing bit of kit, and that syncs with all your Raymarine gadgets. Huge area. Before we go forward, you've got your emergency steering hatch here. Your cockpit is absolutely massive. You have a lazarette on the port side. And then I'm going to show you how long. I'm going to lay down. Show you how long. So, my head's almost touching. And then my feet are miles away from. So if you're 6 foot plus, there's enough room to lay down completely on the bench. Underneath your aluminium frame, your coach roof, it's well, you'll see. So you can see even without canvas, you're well protected. It's nice. There's a lot of little details I haven't shown you. Maybe we'll do something in the future. Something I really like. I'm not going to put it up all the way because they're waiting for me now. You actually have sealed sections for the door. So you have this lower section that bolts in. So in case you're taking water with big seas over into the cockpit. And then if you want to, you can then close the insulated sealed top door too, and that shuts off and clamps off, so you can, you know, watertight. You can watertight the whole area. I know it was a quick tour. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. We're going to go and see these guys sometime in their office and their factory, see how they work and that. I think they're, like we were talking with Alu back with the 490, there are some changes in the industry, and it's companies like this that are going to help bring it forward and start designing the boats that you, with the interiors that we actually want, not something that's just chucked off from the factory. So, see you on the next one.